Another week, another video, another day in the blistering heat in London. Some retirement mistakes, though, you can walk back. You can overspend 1 year and the next rein it in. You can pick a poor fund and you can switch it. But there's a handful of decisions that don't work like that. You make them once and that's it. There is no undo button. And the most frustrating part that I see is that most of them feel completely reasonable at the time. They feel safe. That's exactly why people walk straight into them. So let me take you through 5 retirement mistakes you genuinely cannot reverse. And stick with me to the end because the last one, it's the one I'd least like to see you make. Also, I want to get paid for this video. Let's start with annuities. Buying an annuity is a one-way door. Once you've handed over your pension and kind of bought that guaranteed income, bar a short calling off period, that's it. You're locked in for the rest of your life. The rate you got on the day you signed is the rate you're typically stuck with forever. So if you're buying when the rates are poor, you're carrying that poor deal for the next 20, 30 years. And here's the part most people don't even clock onto until it's too late. When you die, in a lot of cases, that income dies with you. The pot doesn't pass to your family unless you've specifically paid extra to protect it. And most people didn't, as the data says. Now, I'm not saying an annuity is never the answer. For some people, that certainty is worth more. It's a great deal. But go in with your eyes open because once it's done, it's truly done. The next one feels like a treat. And that's exactly why it catches people out. You reach pension age and you're told you can take 25% of your pot completely tax-free. So people take it, the whole lump sum, not because they need it, but because you hear tax-free and it sounds like you'd be daft if you didn't touch it. But think about what you've actually done. That money was sitting inside your pension, growing tax efficiently, sheltered from the taxman. The moment you pull it out and drop it into your bank account, it stops working the way it was. And now you're fully exposed. And beyond the annual limits, you can't put it back. So unless you've got a genuine use for it, taking the cash early can be one of the most expensive free things you'll ever do. The next one is it's a proper trap because nobody exactly shouts out about it. The moment you start taking taxable income from your pension, and I mean the taxable income, not the tax-free cash, you can take that, no problem. You trigger something called money purchase annual allowance. And what it does is brutal. Overnight, the amount you can pay into your pension each year collapses from 60,000, well, up to 60,000, all the way down to 10,000 pounds. And it's permanent. So picture this, someone dips into their pension at 58, take a little bit more to clear the mortgage because they feel like it's the right thing to do. And then they're still working and they want to top up their pension, but actually they've quietly slammed the door on their own contributions and they have no idea. If you're still earning and still saving, be very careful how you take that first slice of income because that allowance does not come back. Now, this next one isn't about paperwork. It's about nerve. Markets fall. They always do at some point. And there's nothing more unnerving than watching a pension drop in the first year or two that you stop working when there's no salary behind it. So people panic. They sell. They shift everything into cash to stop that bleeding. And I understand the instinct completely. It feels like you're protecting yourself, but the truth is that fall is on paper. It's not a loss. It only becomes real, a permanent loss the moment you sell. Markets recover. They always have individual funds, different conversation, or individual stocks, I should say. But if you've bailed out at the bottom, you're not there for the recovery. You've locked in the loss for good. The people most hurt by a downturn aren't the ones that sit tight. They're the ones that sold. And that brings me to the last point, the big one. If you're one of the lucky ones with a final salary, a defined benefit scheme, you're holding something genuinely precious, a guaranteed income for life, slightly different to an annuity, that usually rises with inflation. That keeps paying no matter how long you live or whatever the markets do. And every so often, someone gets offered a big cash lump sum to transfer out, and that number can look enormous, like 6 figures, sometimes far more is what I've seen. And it's tempting, but once you transfer it out, that guarantee is gone forever. You can never buy it back at any price. You've swapped a certain income for life for a pot you now have to manage yourself. And that one can run dry and it is susceptible to the markets rising and falling. That leans entirely on you getting it right. The regulator's own starting position for this is that it's the wrong thing for most people. Transferring is the wrong move. And they don't say it lightly. I can actually lose my license if I get it wrong. And so I try to avoid it. And this is the definition of a decision you just can't undo. So those are the 5 things I want to discuss with you. As you know, I've launched a wealth management business myself. I've gone self-employed. And if you've got any questions, you can either book me in and chat with me for free, or you can drop a comment below. Either way, I'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.